Dude, jeez, that looks so grungy. Wow. Boom. Howdy, everybody. I wasn't planning on being here. I don't know if any of you recognize this silly face of mine, but I haven't streamed on YouTube in a very long time. Anyway. You know, back in the day, people expected, okay, let's set the scene, right? Ancient Israel, there are three sects of, I'm going to go off the rails here. Okay, I'm just going to rant. Sorry for the poor lighting. I'm going to, well, just try to keep up. Ancient Israel, there are three different types of Jews. There's three sects of Judaism, if you will. Josephus tells us about the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Essenoi. Let's put a pin in that. When we're reading the Bible, we read about these wise old men, these magi that came and hid Jesus as Herod was murdering young boys under the age of 2. Those wise old magi are purported to be the Essenoi, this other sect of Christianity, if you will. Now, is that who Jesus was? Was he one of these Essenes? Perhaps you've heard of the Essene mirrors, kind of a new age concept, right? Something purportedly, see, before I became a Christian in 2020, I thought that the Gnostics and the Essenes were the same people. I thought Gnostic Christianity, well, now I'm asking myself, what have I misunderstood? It seems quite clear to me that Jesus was a Gnostic. Am I missing something? I don't know. But now after 5 years of, enough about me. So these wise old men, these magi, they are the same people, I believe, who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, the same people who wrote the Nag Hammadi library, the same people who built the ancient city of Qumran, where these scrolls were written. Now, I also think that when you open your Bible to Acts and you read about people after, when there's renewal happening, because of the resurrection, because of the transfiguration, because of Jesus living a perfect life and literally becoming a light being before his disciples' very eyes, people wanted to be a part of it. And so they went to this city, and you can read about this in Acts. It's a village. It's the thing that you and I need to build together. It's how we're going to get through the things that are coming. We are not going to be able to buy, sell, and trade without accepting this mark. We need to start doing this as soon as we can. Yeah. So, look. In the book of Revelation, John talks about the clouds parting as some shiny object comes through, and a doorway. There's a rainbow, right? Which is a symbol of the covenant. And as this thing that creates a rainbow with its descension meets the ground, 3 legs poke out from it, and a door opens up. And then a staircase descends down from this door. A staircase descends down from this door. It's what it says. And then floating down from that, I guess, is a scroll. And John, in one description or another, I'm sorry, and within that description, I'm a little neurotic, sorry. But what I'm trying to say is, with one description or another, I can't remember exactly what it says. I can't remember if the scroll floats down from the stairs, whatever. But a scroll comes down from these stairs. And John is told to put the scroll in his mouth, to place it on his tongue. I don't know. We should read. But he's told that this The scroll will sour his stomach and give him it will give him visions that will sour his stomach, and that he's to seal these visions up in a book until the times of the end. And so we should ask ourselves, is that book the book we know of now as the Apocryphon of John, the book sealed up in the Nag Hammadi library in a cave? What better way to seal up a book than stick it in a clay pot in a cave for the times of the end? Is that now? If your answer to that isn't yes, you haven't been paying attention and definitely haven't read the Bible. Does that mean the world's really ending? I don't know. The Bible could be a scam, right? It could be. It could be. So, in the Apocryphon of John, honestly, the content of that is a little bit too heavy. If you're still having questions of faith and you don't really even know if this stuff is real, we really can't talk about the content there, because the content of the Apocryphon of John explains the Genesis story. It explains how we were created from monkeys. And that's just something that Christians or people, sorry, I'm a Christian. You understand? I'm a Christian. But if you're watching this and I tell you that I'm a Christian, that might mean something to I am a disciple of Jesus. I am trying as hard as I can to be just like my bro Peter, and just like my bro Matthew, and just like my bro James, and just like my king who I am trying to follow and serve and be like. And so I don't know about you, but that's Christianity is a Pauline religion. There's Catholicism, and Christianity is the halfway point between Catholicism and what we're supposed to be doing. But it is not the correct religion. It is not. That is why certain books were sealed up until the end, so that Christianity could carry us over from Catholicism into this point that we're at now, where more truth is being revealed. Because quite frankly, without a cell phone that has a search bar function in it, you can't get to the truth in the Bible. God knew everything that was going to happen. This book was made, I don't even know where my Bible is. The Bible was made with the intention of things that are happening now. It's just as relevant for you, because what you don't get is you're in the Bible. That book just hasn't been written yet, okay? But the stuff that's talked about in Revelation hasn't happened. And what you may not realize is, look, there might have been some Bible stuff that was out before the flood, but those things are gone now. And so the Apocrypha that's being removed, that's part of it. Like what happened to Enoch and all the Emerald Tablet stuff, like that stuff that we're going to be forgetting here shortly. And so, look, what happened in ancient Egypt isn't stuff that you need to know. You just need enough knowledge to recognize, oh crap, I'm supposed to be following Jesus. I'm living in a dream of some kind, and I've been worshiping myself every day of my life, and I need to stop now and begin making up for it if I have any hope of getting out of here. That's what you need to realize, okay? Period. I want to stick with the Bible stuff here, okay? There's plenty of other things to talk about, but there you go. Yes. It looks like the Essenes are the Magi, are the people that wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, are the people that wrote the Nag Hammadi Library, are John, are Jesus, and their cities and everything about them has been wiped off the face of the earth. The Alexandrian Library was probably burned, and everything has probably been destroyed to cover this up so that Jesus could be taken by the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman, remember, it used to be the Roman Empire. Now it's the Catholic Church. It's still the Roman Empire. Understand? Constantinople. It's just history, y'all. It's just what happened. Okay. And so a lot of people like myself go 25 years without even being willing to consider Christianity or take it seriously, because it's so obvious to us that it's just some desert story. Look, I used to be a Wotanist, right? Because, well, geez, I'm like Danish and Scottish. That's what I should be, right? Why would I worship some Saracen or Jewish god that I'm not Italian? How do I care about Romans? So some Romans go and take some, right? You understand. But listen, there's a reason that Scottish people and Danish people didn't conquer the world, and it was Romans. And then the English, which we notice we don't have an Italian Bible, we have an English Bible. How come the Romans use the English Bible? I mean, isn't it just all so fascinating? Like you might say, oh no, it's Latin. Okay, well think about this. Think about this. Maybe you've seen this. You're watching YouTube. We've taken in a lot of the same information, so it may not surprise you to hear that the word Caveneus and the word Caveneus are the same word. The word beware and the word fig in Latin are the same word because V and U are the same letter. So there's actually Cicero, who was a joker, a jester in Nero's court, had a joke that he used to tell that exploited that pun. I don't know the joke. I don't speak Latin. I don't speak Italian. I do know quite a bit about languages, though. Thanks to bros like that. Look, bros like that. There's a guy, you know, the linguist guy. You know the guy. I forget. His name means little mouse in Chinese, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with someone else. Whatever. Language, babble. So, we have so much history showing you that these things really took place. See, for one, we're told to beware the leaven of Herod, so we should take this with a grain of salt. But you know, Herodotus, like the battle at Cannae has been recorded, right? And then there are two different instances of, look, you've heard of the Archcove volumes, perhaps, and from Valius's notes, there's this, Pontius Pilate had a letter writing to Caesar about his thoughts on Jesus and how how they killed him and all this stuff. And it's a forgery, right? There's another one that is, there's two different variations actually of these, you know, okay, there's like the Gospel of Nicodemus stuff. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I'll assume you do. Look, I just explained it a bit, right? There are texts that purport to be writings written by Pontius Pilate, which is the person who crucified Jesus, right? The Roman that the Jews appealed to, saying, "Hey, you need to kill this guy." And Pontius was like, "No way, dude. I can't find. He didn't do anything wrong. Y'all need to do it." And they're like, "No, you have to do it. We can't legally do that. You have to be the one to do it." And so eventually he was like, "Fuck it, fine." And so, yeah, he wrote a letter supposedly to Caesar about the fallout of that and how it was a big mistake and how he basically believes in Jesus and all this stuff, right? Okay. Forgery. The problem is there are at least two instances prior to that of Roman councils asking people, I forget who they were. I got a video on it actually on my channel if you want to check it out. Pontius Pilate and the vigor of human ignorance, the dependable vigor of human ignorance, I think. So silly. Me and my dumb titles. Silly. Look, there are two instances of Roman councils asking men what they think about whether or not they should adopt Jesus as the new Roman religion. And in both instances, these men say, "Hey, well, you read Pontius's letter. What else do we have to say about it?" It's not exactly what they said, right? But they both referred to this letter that must have existed, or why else would they have been referring to it? Right. And I mean, in at least one of those instances, I think it was actually Josephus, he's like, listen, he's not referring directly to a document, but what he says can definitely be interpreted as, hey, you guys definitely have, like, go back and look at your paperwork. Like, you guys have the letters from, you know, You guys have all the correspondence from back then telling you what was going on. Like, you know more than I do, basically. So, like, you guys are the detectives. Y'all are the government. You guys know what was going on. I don't. And so there's a lot of insight there to show you that, like, listen, to have said that at that time means it is something that really took place. It's just something that really took place. Imagine people right now trying to say the Civil War didn't happen. That's absurd. We all accept that it happened. But 2,000 years from now, people might argue about whether or not slavery even happened. I mean, you see how people are doing about the Holocaust already, right? So what's real, what's not? But there's all the evidence we need to show us that it did take place. If you just have a brain and try to use it. So Jesus was definitely real. He was definitely crucified by Pontius Pilate. He definitely resurrected from the dead. Otherwise, 12 people wouldn't have let themselves get murdered. Understand, his disciples got killed one after the other. And all they had to do was say, nah, I made it up. Okay, so the so that's all interesting, but let's dig further. Let's get into actual interpretation of scripture and what the KJV means. Like, why is the KJV the only Bible that you should be reading? Let me share this concept with you. Look, first of all, it's a no-brainer. You got to understand the Douay-Rheims Bible, there's the Alexandrian text and there's the Byzantine text, okay? Textual criticism here, there's all the papyri and stuff, and like over time we found more. There's the Sinaiticus. There's just so much evidence now. Look, I don't want to go off on a tangent about the how the KJV was made, because that is honestly a full-length documentary, so we need to avoid that. But I'll just give you this one statement. If the storm that came and sunk the Spanish Armada into the bottom of the English Channel hadn't have come, then we would all be speaking Latin. We would all be speaking, we all are all speaking Latin. We would all be speaking Spanish, and we would all be reading a Catholic Bible that is based on the Alexandrian scripts of the Vulgate. Instead, the hand of God, if you will, brought about a storm which sunk the entire Spanish Armada into the bottom of the English Channel. And because of that storm, the Spanish fleet was gone, and England became a world power. And I think 7 years later or something, I can't remember, the 1611 Bible comes out. I'm getting my math off there. I may be way wrong with my dates. But 1588, 1611, right? 1588, isn't that when it happened? Whatever. So freaking awesome, dude. So 17 years later. 17 years after England becomes a world power, which means the whole world is on track to speak. So think about this. 17 years after England becomes a world power, the KJV is released. So literally, hand of God sinks ships. God kills 3 birds with one. He kills 20 birds with one stone. Okay, that's his signature. And so by sinking those ships, England becomes a world power. That KJV gets implemented, and now this is the only Bible, and English is the only world language. There has never been and never will be another world language, except maybe Arabic, and the time's getting super close to the end. That being said, the language of truth is definitely Aramaic. honestly, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to close this out. I was just trying to see how good the compression was going to be. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube ever directly. I always had to use the Prism app back in the day. So this has been a good experience. I'm definitely going to come back. I hate streaming on Facebook. YouTube content is so much better. I get to talk about such better things here. But I had something I wanted to leave you with, and I can't quite remember. So I guess that's it. Resurrection from the dead. It seems impossible. It's not. It's not. There's so many different things to explain. Just remember, it wasn't that long ago that a couple guys won the Nobel Prize for basically proving that you live in a procedurally generated reality where the things that you look at are just made out of light. But understand, Werner Heisenberg said that the first sip from the laws of the natural world leads to atheism, but at the bottom of that glass is God. So understanding that knowledge can make you not believe in God. But that's foolishness. No matter who you are, as long as you think thoroughly, all paths will lead to the truth. If you stop yourself and you let yourself believe lies, then of course not. But if you uncover a lie, how will it not lead you to the truth? I mean, come on. Isn't that how every homicide case ever is solved? Is by spotting a lie? Figure it out, guys. You've been being lied to for a long time. Quite frankly, The Matrix came out in 1999. People like me are getting tired of waiting. Glory to the Father. Love you.